Hey there guys, and welcome to round 2 of 21 of Season 3 for the Bahrain Grand Prix. It's for 17 and I am not with a special guest, sadly, so I will be on my own. Also, as always, if for people who are going to be watching the stream and have missed the opening round for GP1.1, you can watch back the Australian Grand Prix via Twitch or on YouTube when it's uploaded. As we are waiting for 3 drivers to retire into the pits, and we'll get on board with Q2. We also have another familiar face, another original from GRL, and that is Joseph Heth. He is accommodating the Toro Rosso Honda. With his teammate Lecky. Not only that, Nicky Taylor 96 will be accommodating the Williams and teaming up with GRL Hamilton. As we are getting Q2 underway. We will find out which tyres they will be going for this session. It looks like Joseph Heth is out first. So whilst Joseph Heth is on his outlap, we will be talking about some of the upgrades that the teams have made. First off is Red Bull. After having a very poor start of Australia, they will be planning on doing an engine upgrade for the coming races, and they are saying that it will be finalised at Azerbaijan. Whereas Sauber, because of their performance they had with Stepladder Bob, and not only that with George Key, they are planning to stay as they are at the moment, and they are trying to finalise an upgrade for Spain. Another one is Renault. Renault has stated that one of their chassis for one of the cars was a little bit loose, so they are planning on doing a chassis upgrade for China. And finally, it is Williams. They are stating that their aero package was a little bit weak, and they are planning on doing some upgrades ready for Spain as well. So we are now on. So now Joseph Heth is on his flying lap, coming up out of turn 2, and I do have a special guest, which is Max. Hello there, Max. And that's what? Ah. See. Right. I won't know how it works either, so... Yeah. No worries, no worries. Anyway, we do have sincere apologies with that, so Joseph F crossed the line doing a 1:27.6. There was some technical issues in one of the driver's paddock. There was supposed to be a Q1, but one of the drivers failed to went on to spectate rather than readying up, but because of that, one of the drivers will be starting at the back in the Ninja Max, which is very, very unfortunate of him. As we now go on to RB14 Seagull doing a 1:27.8, GRL Hamilton doing a 1:28.1. Have a look on some of the others. Damien Squiddy has done a 1:27.5. There was also some rumours that Red Bull are currently testing a second engine which requires a lot more power than last time. And I've also just noticed that Superb Cam is out of qualifying. Lecky has done a 1:27.8, 17 thousandths off of RB14 Seagull. Joel Key has done a 1:28.0, a tenth faster than GRL Hamilton. Stepladder Bob has done a 1:27.5, a 1,000th behind Squiddy. As we go on to the tyres that they are running on, is that they are, the top two are on the super softs. Stepladder Bob's done 2 laps at the moment. Sonogo has done a 1:24.8. Key Taylor has done a 1:28.1. Even though I've already said that, but never mind. We'll go on to Brandon, but by the looks of it, he is going to be setting another banker lap. Or could be sorting out something else. So at 1:41, maybe he wasn't very happy on one of the exits of one of the corners. Damien Squiddy has gone into the pits and Joker is now on his outlap. Stewie and Pierre Brown are yet to set a lap. And Brandon has gone super wide from that from those two corners. We'll go on to Joker in the scarlet red Ferrari. And flag on sector 2 and 3 as Joker comes up to the first corner. Make it nice and hard without locking up. Jonas Nogo has improved, he's done a 1:27.7. Jumped up to P4. Also another thing, because I am also on my own, I won't be able to look at your questions. So the questions for this race will not be seen, so I can't, I can't answer them as the best I can, but hopefully I will have a second commentary or commentator with me for round 3. And it looks like Squiddy is going to do his outlap again. Don't know why. As Joker comes out of the final corner, going full throttle. With a 1:27.7. Beats Sonogo by less than 300ths of a second. And Sonogo has gone into the pits. Nicky Taylor and Brandon are now on their outlap once again. Aaron Dazzler, Stewie and P1R Brown are yet to go out. We'll go on to Squiddy as he comes up to the final corner. And he's on the soft tyres. Maybe the super soft run was a technique that a fellow driver had mustered in the past. And Jockey has actually beaten Joker by half a tenth on a 1:27.7. So Squiddy on a 28.0 on the first sector. He comes into the second. A very, very technical corner. This could be a very good advantage for the Red Bull. Taking that very technical double left-hander. Very nice and neat and open DRS onto the second back straight. Coming up to a very fast left and then a fast right. Have a look on his second sector. He's a little bit bugged, so that could be like a 38 or a 37.2. And Squiddy goes on to the last corner. Taking it very nice and neat on the exit and has backed off. Now, Aaron Dazzler and Stewie are on their outlap. Aaron Dazzler there, rocking the number 6. And P1R Brown is now going out in the pits. There is Stewie rocking number 62. Stewie's trying to replicate with that remarkable performance at Australia. Applying a lot of pressure on P1R Brown in the midway point in Australia. A very unfortunate incident as Brandon goes faster with a 1:26.8 on the supers. But he will be starting on them tyres. So could we go for an aggressive 2-stop strategy? So as we see Stewie going out of that last corner and starting his flying lap. Doing well over 200 miles an hour, heading towards the first corner, one of many heavy braking zones. One's a little bit wide on the exit of turn 2. Now it goes on to turn 4. slight lock up. See what he does. 28-1 for his first sector. Now here comes the technical part. Locks up again. But manages to get good traction on the way out. Goes on to the double left-hander and he's locked up massively. But again with the traction on the exit. Joseph Heff has actually gone faster than George Key. He's done a 1:27.6. He's found 200ths. And Stewie comes to the next straight onto the last corner. Using that Mercedes Powers work engine into good use. Heading up to the last corner into fourth. Getting a very, very good exit. Going across the line, he does a 1:27.0. Step Ladder Bob does a 1:27.0 as well. URL Hamilton with a 1:27.1. Dazzler with a 1:27.2. Pushes Squiddy down to 6th. Brandon is still at the top with a 1:26.8. So we'll now go on to P1R Brown. Taking a very, very good line on the last cut, but the exit kind of compromised him a little bit. And he does a 1:26.9. Beats Stewie by almost a 10th. So it's all down to Nicky Taylor and RB14 Seagull. RB14 Seagull has to find under a 10th to go through. Well, he needs to get over a 10th to go through, whereas Nicky Taylor has to find 5/10ths to go through. It's got to be a tall order for these two drivers. Xavier Squiddy sets the fastest lap with a 1:26.6, but he's got to be starting on the softs. So we'll be most definitely doing the 2-stop because there's a slight hint that the supers might not last as you might think. We'll go on to Nicky Taylor has gone up to 4th with a 1:27.0, and RB14 Seagull goes 4th as well. Pushes Joker and Jewel Key. But the question is, can Joker find 700ths or more? And he's backing off. So there we have it for Q2. The drivers that are eliminated are Cam, Lecky, Sonogo, Joker and George Key. Joseph Heath just makes it by the skin of his teeth. Very, very good showing of Q2. Top 4 getting into the 1:26s. Whereas from the 5th to 7th into the 1:27.0s. So there we have it for Q2. Very, very unfortunate from the 5 people that are knocked out. And that is Joker, George Key, Sonogo, Lecky and Cam. Very, very unfortunate. And only 3 people will be starting on the soft tyres. George Key and Joker can still have a fresh set of softs, or they can actually still go for the 1-stop. So Damien Squiddy and Brandon. Only under a quarter of a second separated between them. Some might say that Squiddy is a bit of a qualifying specialist. Others might think that the setup that is provided is only useful. He left the session, so he needs to join back. Joseph Heff, though, a very, very good return. He's got himself into Q3. And it looks like P1R Brown is coming out first. P1R Brown is hopefully trying to forget about what happened in Australia, with hopefully a good performance here at Bahrain. It looks like Hef, Brandon, Stepladder Bob, Stewie, Squiddy and Hamilton are on their outlap as well. And it looks like Aaron Dazzler is now on his outlap. The only two people that are still in the pits are Siegel and Nicky Taylor. So as P1R Brown heads towards the final corner, warming his super soft tyres. As we will find out the benchmark that P1R Brown will set as he goes onto the back straight, into coming up to turn 1, making nice and hard. Gets a good sequence of corners from turns 1, 2 and 3. And on to turn 4. Quite a deceiving corner, that slight lock up from Brown there. And onto the technical section. That could make or break a good qualifying time. Onto the double left-hander. Takes it very, very neat. Onto the second back straight. Coming up to the end of the second sector, another slight lock-up. As he now goes on to the third and final sector. Onto the last corner, doing about 190 and braking nice and hard and into fourth. Onto the last corner, another lock up. Managed to get the exit nice and neat though. Charges onto the finish straight and does a 126.4 to start off. Stepladder Bob with a 126.8. Squiddy doing a 127.1, slightly worse than his Q2 time. Nicky Taylor will be starting his flying lap, whereas Stewie is now coming up to the end of his flying lap. Can he try and beat a 126.4, a 126.5? 126.539. Brandon has done a 127.1. GRL Hamilton with a 127.6. Aaron Dazzler has beaten P1R Brown's time with a 126.3. Very, very good strong lap there. Go on to Nicky Taylor on the exit of that double left-hander. The 15 people that are watching this stream, welcome. In case you haven't missed Q2, the people that were out were Superb Cam, Lecky, Sonogo, Joker, and the biggest surprise of all, Jord Key. As Nicky Taylor comes into the last corner, takes it nice and neat, trying to avoid the rumbles, exit rumble strips, and opens DRS, crosses the line with a 1:27.1, beats Brandon by 1900ths. Go on to Joseph Heff, and he does a 1:27.4, beats GRL Hamilton by 0.2. Everyone will be now going into the pits. So at the moment, Aaron Dazzler sets the fastest time and holds pole at the moment with a 1:26.3, with P1R Brown with a 1:26.4, Stewie with a 1:26.5, Stepladder Bob with a 1:26.8, Damien Squiddy with a 1:27.1, Nicky Taylor with a 1:27.1, Brandon with a 1:27.1, Joseph Heth with a 1:27.4, GRL Hamilton with a 1:27.6, and Siegel has yet to set a time, and it does look like that Brandon is on his outlap once again on the fresh set of supers. Joseph Heff has gone into the pits, so he will be going on a fresh set of super soft tyres. Which means Brandon will now have clear air for his flying lap. And it looks like Stewie is now going to be on his outlap as well. Brandon's now coming up towards the final corner to start his flying lap. If he gets a good exit, he might be all sorted. So now Brandon is on his flying lap. Stepladder Bob, GRL Hamilton are on her out lap as well. As Brandon goes into the exit of turn 4 and then up to turns 5, 6 and 7. Makes nice and hard and a very, very good exit out of that corner. And here comes the infamous double left-hander. Takes a little bit more narrow, but a very, very good follow-up apex along with it. As Brandon opens up DRS to come at the end of the second sector. Now on to the third sector. Looks like this time could possibly beat his previous, which is a 1:27.1. Aaron Dazzler, P1R Brown, Squiddy and Siegel are now on their outlap. As Brandon onto the back straight does a 1:26.7. So we'll now go on to Stewie. On to turn 4, a slight lock up, but he's attacking the corners nonetheless. Turns 5 and 6. Looks very, very neat. And on to turn 7. Locks up again, attacks the corner. Good traction nonetheless. And onto the double left-hander. See, took that corner perfectly. A little bit of oversteering on the exit there. Coming up to the left, right. So now brakes nice and hard, going down into 4th. Takes it very, very wide. That looks like it's almost a brink of an invalidation, but we have to find out as he comes up to the last corner. Very, very neat indeed. And as he opens up DRS, he crosses the line and he beats Dazzler by Dazzler's time of 0.15 of a second. We'll now go on to P1R Brown, another fast driver, especially across all of the leagues. Heading on to the last corner. Brakes nice and hard. Takes a very awful bit of a poor exit on that corner, but he goes faster with a 1:25.9. A very good lap from Brown there. Squiddy goes fastest with a 1:26.4. Seagull with a 1:27.9. And it looks like Hamilton was close. And it looks like Seal has retired on track. And same goes as Hamilton. Joseph Heff will still have a chance to try and beat his time, currently on 1:27.4. Takes a little bit of a wider line, but it looks like it's going to be quite costly, and he does not improve. Nicky Taylor does not improve as well. So there we have it for Q3. P1R Brown showing his dominance once again. Getting pole for the second time for his first 2 races of GRL. Followed by Stewie, who is in 2nd. Aaron Dazzler in 3rd. Squiddy in 4th. And since I do not have a spare commentator, I will screenshot the qualifying results when it is done. So there we have it for Q3. P1R Brown again goes pole with a 1:25.4. Stewie in 2nd with a 1:26.3. Aaron Dazzler does a 1:26.3, but only 1,500 slower than the car in front. Damien Squiddy with a 1:26.4, half a second gap between him and P1R Brown. Stepladder Bot Brandon in 5th with a 1:26.7. Stepladder Bob with a 1:26.8. Seagull with a 1:26.9, and so on. There will be a 5-minute break, and the race will start at 18 minutes to 10. So whilst we're in this 5-minute break, we'll have a look and see some of the drivers' tyre choices. The top 3 are on the supers, and from 4th to 10th will be on the super. No, from 1st to 3rd it will be the softs. My apologies. And from 4th to 10th are on the supers, whereas from 11th to 5th to 16th are on the softs. So it's a quite even match. Seven super soft tyre compounds and 9 soft tyre runners. P1R Brown hopefully will make his redemption from Australia. Stewie is hoping to make win number 2, and hopefully will keep applying that pressure to P1R Brown. Aaron Dazzler having a very exceptional race from Australia. Hopefully he will try and redeem it once again. Damien Scriddy is trying to get the curse from Australia, and hopefully the tyres will last. Brandon having a very good strong race at Australia like his teammate. Will he have a chance to get to the podium spot? Stepladder Bob in 6th. A very, very good average qualifying. Had him 100% safe in Q2 and setting a very reasonable lap time in Q3. And it looks like someone has readied up very, very early. As we do not know who it is at the moment. So, no idea who has readied up very early, but they will be getting a qualifying ban. So as the drivers now onto their formation lap and warming their allocated tyres. Damien Scriddy is hoping to get off the mark after a very, very poor Australia race, where he started on the ultra soft tyres and then the tyre wear just bit him. Hopefully it won't be take 2 of this problem. So as the rest of the grid are slowly reforming and warming their tyres, as we see a lot of cars warming their tyres once more, getting their last ditch. We do see Ginger Ninja Max in the McLaren, but he will be scoring points for the Haas. So as the grid is now ready, we'll now be seeing 5 red lights to start round 2 of GP1.1. It's lights out and away we go, and it appears that Sonogo has got a drive-through penalty of a jump start, and it looks like Scriddy's actually got off to a very, very good start. as Stewie going on almost gone onto the inside of P1R Brown. Maybe Squiddy is now still on the inside, and it looks like Stewie and Bob has collided. And the same goes for Hamilton. Hamilton has gone off and Joker has gone. A very, very unfortunate comeuppance from Stewie there from starting in P2. Brandon has got a 5-second stop go for corner cutting, also gaining 1 place. Very, very unfortunate from Stewie, nonetheless, but it looks like he hasn't got any damage whatsoever. The stewards will look into it. As long as the drivers have recorded their clips, we will find out the incident. Well, the stewards will find out and will investigate it further. But we will stick into the race, as it looks like Cam and Joseph Heth has overtook Joseph Heth, and it looks like Joseph Heth has actually got wing damage. Go on to John Key, who has jumped up 7 places and now currently in 4th. Ginger Ninja Max has jumped up to 6th from starting 16th. Here when Brown sets the fastest lap on the starter lap with a 1:33.8. As it looks like Damien Squiddy is trying to close the gap, and it looks like Joseph Heth has got a stop go for speeding in the pit lane. We're going back on to on board. Joseph Heth, Lecky, Bob and Nicky Taylor are into the pits, as Squiddy is still trying to pressure P1R Brown, going right up into the gearbox of that Renault. And it looks like Squiddy's going for a move on the inside of P1R Brown, but P1R Brown's defended it very well. Going too wide onto the double left-hander. P1R Brown's got the better line. They're going inside. Still going too wide, but very good defending from P1R Brown there. Very, very good defending nonetheless. As we go on to Ginger Ninja Max, trying to close the gap onto RB14 Siegel, his teammate. Not only that, we'll also have Stewie, who's lost 7 places after starting in 2nd after what's looked like some minor wheel spin. So we now go back on to Squiddy. P1R Brand trying to break the toe, but it looks like it isn't working. John Key sets the fastest lap with 1:30.8 as Squiddy goes down the outside of P1R Brand, and that is a spectacular move from Squiddy. Well, the problem is though with Squiddy is, can those super soft tyres last the rate towards his pit window? And it does look like the P1R Brown is actually having some minor problems. So we go on to Stewie, who's now on the back of Superb Cam. Again, another lock-up and goes wide and missed the apex on that double left-hander, but it does have DRS at the moment, closing that gap ever so slightly. It does look like that Aaron Dazzler's trying to go for a move on Ginger Ninja Max, and P1R Brown has just got overtaken by Brandon. And it looks like he's also losing time as well. We will stay on board with P1R Brown as he gets it DRS, and it looks like George Key is closing the gap as well. As Brandon tries to squeeze him onto the inside, and P1R Brown's on the inside on the first corner as he gets a very good move onto the first corner past Brandon. But Brandon is actually going to reply back, and it looks like Ginger Max is going to try and close the gap onto Aaron Dazzler as well, but it looks like there's going to be a battle between P1R Brown and Brandon. As Squiddy's increasing that gap ever so slightly as P1 Brown is trying to battle and fend off of Brandon. Ginger Max is still trying to reduce the gap of Aaron Dazzler. Stewie is seems to falling back a little bit of Superb Cam, struggling on them soft tyres. There goes Jug Key. Oh, there's contact between the two drivers. Between the Sauber and the Force India. And it looks like Stewie's gone as well. Oh no. A lot of... This is actually very, very intense racing. It looks like Aaron Dazzler's overtook Seagull coming up to the first corner. A Superb Cam is trying to go onto the outside of Ginger Ninja Max and Jug Key. He's trying to overtake Superb Cam as well. Superb Cam has gone onto the inside of Ginger Ninja Max and seems to have just pushed him a little bit as Ginger Ninja Max goes wide out of turn 4. Superb Cam's now gained 5th. And Ginger Ninja Max has now dropped down to 6th as Jug Key tries to find them, tries to make the Red Bull and Haas driver say no. Ginger Ninja Max is a Haas driver, he's not in the McLaren, and it looks like Jug Key's kind of outbraked himself. The same goes with Superb Cam, but it seems to have paid off. This is unbelievable. Superb Cam and Ginger Ninja Max are still going too wide. Coming up to the fast right-hander, and it looks like Joseph has unfortunately crashed out of the race. This is very, very intense. Stewie's now dropped down to 9th. All that effort that he's made, and he's now having a fight with Brandon, as Brandon has lost it as well. And it also looks like Stewie has lost part of his front cascade element as Jug Key now enters into the pits. Meanwhile up ahead, Squiddy is maintaining the pace and maintaining his super soft. But by the looks of it, those super softs are starting to wear out as P1 Brown is closing up and reducing that gap ever so slightly. Stewie's now gone up to 7th. Ginger Ninja Max is now stayed in 6th, closing that gap on the Superb Cam. And again, got a lock up as Lecky, with a little bit of a good battle, just overtook Nicky Taylor. Nice, with a nice and easy. Very, very good move from Lecky there. Just so you know, from people from 11th down, apart from the retirements, will be getting 1 point if they finish. So we'll go back onto Ginger Ninja Max. Still trying to close the gap on Superb Cam. As Seagull now enters into the pits. We'll have a look on what tyre he'll be coming out of. And it looks like the soft tyres, so he is going to be doing a 2-stop. And Stewie is now coming into the pits for a front wing change. And it looks like he'll be on soft tyres again. We'll just confirm that. No, he is on the mediums. He'll be on the mediums for 22 laps. So he's hoping for a big, big undercut. So we'll go back onto Ginger Ninja Max, trying to close the gap onto Superb Cam. looks like he is losing a little bit of time. Meanwhile, P1R Brand is closing that gap onto Squiddy. Now 1.2 seconds. Looks like Squiddy's super soft tyres are starting to wear out. There we go, Squiddy has now gone into the pits. We'll have a look on what tyre that he could be going on. And he's going on to the soft tyres. Meanwhile, P1R Brand now holds the lead and is now 2.2 seconds ahead of Aaron Dazzler. So far at the moment, there's no battle, no close battles at the moment. Jorky sets the fastest lap with a 1:30.4. And he's proper draining his ERS as he closes the gap onto Sonogo, who's on worn softs, whereas Jorky is now on a fresh set. We go back onto 12th and 13th, whereas Nicky Taylor is now trying to go for a move onto Lecky. Nicky Taylor tries to find a way past him. Oh, with good patience. As we now go on to Joe Key, has now closed the gap onto Sonogo by 4.5 tenths as Superb Cam's now gone into the pits. So we go on to Joe Key. It's now coming up to the back straight. He will be using overtake and DRS as Sonogo's going on, trying to fend him off onto the inside. As they go side by side on onto the first corner, it's got to be very close, but Joe Key is going to have the inside of the second corner. And that is a very, very good strong move by the Sauber, with Sonogo almost losing it after getting wheel spin onto the second corner. As we go back onto Nicky Taylor, go for a very comfortable overtake onto Lecky. Doesn't get to 12th, but it looks like Lecky is not fighting. Nicky Taylor giving Lecky plenty of room. So very, very good driving from those two. The only people that are yet to make a pit stop is P1R Brown, Aaron Dazzler, Ginger Ninja Max and Sonogo. Brown, Dazzler, Max and Sonogo are committing to a one stop. It looks like Stepladder Bob has left the session. And it looks like Superb Cam is also gaining on Sonogo on the fresh set of super soft tyres. Going about too wide, but it looks like Superb Cam's going to make that overtake very, very nice and easily. And it looks like Sonogo's soft tyres are starting to wear out a little bit. So we now go on to P1R Brown. The gap between P1R Brown and Dazzler has actually been cut by 6 tenths. It's now almost 1.5 seconds. As we go back onto Sonogo, and it does actually look like he's losing a lot of time on his worn set of soft tyres, as Cam is now increasing that gap by a huge margin. Joseph F has left the session, but no safety car has been deployed. And Aaron Dazzler is now gaining on P1R Brown, yet he is getting some slight blistering on his front left. And Superb Cam sets the fastest lap with a 1 minute 30.1. Okay, with a slight lock up on that double left-hander, but it looks like it's not phasing him a little bit. And he's closing the gap even more. It's now 1.1 seconds. But it does actually look like that they are both going to pit on this lap. And it looks like Nicky Taylor has now gone into the pits. And he is now going to be going on the soft tyres. And I've just noticed that Cam has got a 3-second time penalty. And it looks like P1R Brown and Dazzler are now pitting. Find out what Ginger Ninja Max will be doing. And it does look like he is staying out from missing qualifying. And then starting at the back, he's now currently leading at the moment, but he has got a pit stop to do. Whereas Squiddy has got one more stop left. Whereas P1R Brown and Dazzler, it looks like Dazzler is on the super softs, so he's committed to a 2-stop. We'll have a look. And P1R Brown is on the mediums. P1R Brown will be committing on the 1-stop, whereas Dazzler is going for a 2-stop. A very unique strategy between the two. But it does look like that Aaron Dazzler's plan of going for a 2-stop is going to be paying off, because he is on a softer compound, whereas Brown is on a much harder compound. As Dazzler still maintaining that 2/10 gap on P1R Brown. Trying not to increase that gap even more, utilising them supers. And it looks like Aaron Dazzler is going to get DRS and the overtake. And as you can see, the difference between the mediums and the super softs. The super softs are quite dominant because they can get more grip and a lot more speed. But it looks like P1R Brown is thinking very conservatively. Damien Squiddy is actually decreasing the gap on Ginger Ninja Max. We're now almost close to the halfway point of this race. As Squiddy has got DRS on Ginger Ninja Max, closing that gap ever so more. Oh, Squiddy going a little bit wide, and it looks like he almost outbrakes himself there. As they can now go onto the last straight and onto the last corner. Squiddy's actually utilising the overtake ERS. Brakes very, very hard. And makes it stick very nice. As it looks like Max has now gone into the pits. Dazzler, though, is on a is on super softs and is at the fastest lap with a 1:28.8. And it looks like there's a yellow flag in sector 3, and it's Sonogo, and he's lost his front wing. Trying to extend them soft tyres doesn't seem to have been working for Sonogo. Renault has also did state that they were having a lack of tyre wear from one of the drivers, but they're not making any changes. About a third of the way through of the season. Brandon has now gone into the pits as well. As Lecky now goes up to 9th. Running at his own pace at the moment. Stewie has now gone up to 8th. From having a very unfortunate start of GP1.1. But let's hope that the drivers have recorded some of their incidents and then inform the stewards as we go on to Siegel. He's now actually closing the gap of P1R Brown a little bit. And it looks like there's a yellow flag on the second sector. But we do not know, and it looks like Stewie has also jumped Superb Cam. It does look like that RB14C, the gap between Siegel and Brown has actually gone up a little bit. It's gone up by 6/10. As you see, Aaron Dazzler is actually reducing that gap even more between him and Squiddy. Stewie, that's in 7th. He's actually gaining on Ginger Ninja Max. I do have a message from Owen, but I can't see it because I am currently streaming, but the party is unjoinable. As Stewie closing the gap on Ginger Ninja Max even more. It's now 1.3 seconds and closing. Ginger Ninja Max is now onto the medium, so he's going to be going to the end of the race after pitting in lap 14. And it looks like Aaron Dazzler's actually caught off another second off of Squiddy. It's now almost 2 seconds now behind. As you can see, people are around in the background, and Siegel, who is currently in 4th. We are also at the halfway point, so we'll do a rundown of the grid. Well, I will. In first, we have Damien Squiddy, and it looks like Aaron Dazzler's got a 3-second time penalty, which is very, very unfortunate from Aaron Dazzler. But at the moment, Squiddy is leading, followed by Aaron Dazzler, who is currently 2 seconds. P1R Brown in 3rd. Siegel in 4th. Joe Key in 5th with a 3-second time penalty. Ginger Ninja Max in 6th, but he's getting hounded by Stewie, who is in 7th. Superb Cam in 8th. Lecky in 9th. Bob in 10th, but he's currently been desynced, which means Brandon will be 10th. Nicky Taylor in 11th, and Sonogo in 12th. As we now go on to Ginger Ninja Max, and Stewie's utilising the ERS and overtake made it look easy, despite it being on a softer compound. And it looks like there was a little bit of contact from the two drivers there. But it looks like Ginger Max is now going back onto the slipstream of Stewie. But it looks like Stewie is defending him off. Very, very good. Well done from Stewie there. We'll go back onto Aaron Dazzler, who's now currently 1.6 seconds behind Squiddy. The thing is though, is that Squiddy and Dazzler are committing to a 2-stop, whereas Brown is going for a 1-stop. And same as for Ginger Ninja Max. Aaron Dazzler closing that gap even more. It's now 1.1 seconds and he's now getting closer and closer. B1R Brand is moderating a 5.2 second gap. Siegel moderating a 4.6 seconds to the guy ahead. Have a look at the gap of the leader. Aaron Dazzler's now dropped it down to 9/10. So that means he will now have DRS. So he can close that gap even more. B1R Brown is now 6.3 seconds behind the leader. Siegel 11.2 seconds behind the leader. Key 14.2 seconds behind the leader. And then a big, huge gap between first and 6th. As we go on to Aaron Dazzler, it's now dropped that onto the last corner into 3rd. A slight little bit of wheel spin, and it looks like Squiddy and Dazzler have gone to the pits. But P1R Brown will not be pitting because he is committing the 1-stop. Squiddy is now on another set of soft tyres. Joe Key has also gone into the pits, and it looks like Brown is on a set of soft tyres as well. There as we see Stewie. As you see Aaron Dazzler very close onto the horizon. He's now gained some lost time. Is he now currently in 5th. I think Siegel is yet to make a pit stop as well. Unless he's going for an aggressive 2-stop and be going on to a set of super softs. So we now go on to Stewie. 9/10, enabling DRS, so we can now decrease that 1 second gap a little bit more. But he seems to be struggling a little bit. Superb Cam is now closing up to the back of Jorg Key, who's currently in 7th. So you see Superb Cam closing up to Jorg Key a little bit more. They're both on fresh sets. Superb Cam's got DRS. Closing that gap. Breaks nice and late. Make that gap a little bit more closer. It looks like Lecky is pitted. Oh, a little bit side-by-side battle between the Sauber and the Red Bull. But it looks like Jorge has made a very good defensive move. So well done from Jorge there to fend off Superb Cam. Go on back to P1 Bahrain. There is now 9 laps to go. Seagulls soft tyres are starting to wear out a little bit. The gap is now increasing even more, so that means Seagull is now pitting. Which means Squiddy now has now got second, and Dazzler will get third. Stewie though will get fourth. But if he maintains a gap, he could get third. But it depends on how many penalties that Aaron Dazzler will have. So we go on to Jorge and Superb Cam, as Seagull is now just ahead of him, who is now on the super soft tyres. Also found out there's a stellar battle for 11th. Between Lecky and Nicky Taylor. Both Cam and Jorge has got DRS, trying to close up to Seagull. And it looks like Aaron Dazzler is now closing up to Squiddy. He's now less than a second. Stewie though is now starting to struggle, as the gap between him and Dazzler is now increasing. It's now 3.4 seconds. Lecky is now going to get 10th, but he has a 3-second time penalty. We're back onto Aaron Dazzler, and it looks like Seagull is now catching up to Ginger Ninja Max as well. Oh, Squiddy's had a little bit of a tank slapper there, and it looks like Seagull has now overtook Ginger Ninja Max. And it looks like there is a bit of an incident between sector 2 and 3, and it's Superb Cam who's lost it. Luckily he hasn't got front wing damage, and now Stewie's gone into the pits as Squiddy and Aaron Dazzler's now battling that out, going too wide into turns 1, 2 and 3, and it looks like Squiddy has fended Dazzler off, but Dazzler is still on the charge. And it looks like Squiddy was very close to shutting the door of Dazzler. So Stewie is now dropped into 7th and is now on the super softs. And there's been another yellow flag, and it's Nicky Taylor in sector 2 and 3. Oh, that was very unfortunate from Nicky Taylor. Had a very good battle between Lecky. So we're going to go back onto the battle between Squiddy and Aaron Dazzler. Meanwhile, Brown is increasing that gap even more. He's now carrying those mediums to the very end with 6 laps to go. Squiddy goes very, very wide onto that corner, coming up to the straight. And onto the last corner as Aaron Dassler takes a very good wider line, goes back onto the power perfectly. Opening DRS and ERS and onto overtake. Utilising that Mercedes Works engine. Squiddy goes into the inside, but Aaron Dassler makes a fantastic move, and as Squiddy tries to go back, and there's a little bit of contact there. But it looks like Aaron Dassler has made the overtake stick, but Squiddy's actually gone onto another charge, going onto the inside as Dassler has to fend off onto the outside. Damien Squiddy's stayed onto the inside, and there's some contact a little bit more. Still going side by side. This is incredible racing between the Force India and the Red Bull. Even more contact. And I think there was some slight touch from the side pod, which kind of costed Squiddy by about 4/10. But it looks like Squiddy's going to be going back onto the charge of Aaron Dassler. George Key is now closing up to Ginger Ninja Max. Superb Cam is actually closing the gap on to Brandon. And there's a yellow flag onto sector 2 and 3, and it's Nicky Taylor again. He's had such a tremendous race, and the tyre wear is starting to get the best of him, as Jug Key is now trying to get 5th place off of Ginger Ninja Max, who started 16th and made up 11 places. But Jug Key's got a 3-second time penalty. Could that have cost him to 5th place as we're on to lap 25 of 29? As Jug Key goes down the outside of Ginger Ninja Max. Ginger Ninja Max is still holding on the inside. There's some slight contact. Oh, I think there was a little bit of rubbing on the side pod as Stewie sets the fastest lap with a 1:28.6. Taylor with a 3-second time penalty. Superb Cam's closing the gap of Brandon a little bit more. Pushing that Taggier engine. It looks like Squiddy is starting to pull, or starting to form a bigger gap as Aaron Dassler now tries to charge forwards of P1R Brown as he starts lap 26. And it's Nicky Taylor yet again on sector 2 and 3. Sonogo will get 11th and Taylor will get 12th. So they'll both be getting 1 point. As we go back onto Superb Cam, Aaron Dassler has now reduced that gap to 8.7 seconds. Bear in mind that Brown is on worn mediums and Dassler's on some very slightly used soft tyres. We go back onto Superb Cam, closing the gap ever so slightly to Brandon, who is on the mediums, as Superb Cam is on the softs, maximising the DRS from on the start-finish straight. Sees the opportunity, tries to go for a move, but it looks like Brandon has fended him off very, very good. It looks like there's a yellow flag on the second sector and it's Lecky again. His tyres is completely gone. Brown starts lap 27. Just a heads up, we will be giving the driver of the day in the interview of the top three. As Cam tries his absolute hardest to reduce the gap off of Brandon. Another yellow flag of the second and third sector, which will be Nicky Taylor. As Aaron Dazzler's reduced that gap even more. It's now 7.2 seconds, but could it be too late? Meanwhile, Stewie, very, very unfortunate race for him for Bahrain. He is going to be forgetting about this track after qualifying very well, qualifying next to P1R Brand, and then by the looks of it, having wheel spin. Or lost the back end, but who knows? As Aaron Dazzler is now closing the gap between Brand a little bit more. Now 6.3 seconds as Brand starts the penultimate lap of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Cam still trying his best to overtake Brandon, and still under a second. Stewie, though, he could possibly go for a consolation overtake manoeuvre as he catches up to Ginger Ninja Max. So as P1R Brand comes into the last two corners to start his flying lap. The grid is still as follows. P1R Brand is in front, followed by Aaron Dazzler, who's in second and gaining the time that he lost between the two. Damien Squiddy being 3.1 seconds behind Dazzler, trying to maintain the gap even more, depending on what sort of penalties that Dazzler has. Stewie has almost overtook Ginger Ninja Max, but Ginger Ninja Max is on the inside. This is a chance to secure 6th. Well, a little bit of wheel spin from Stewie there could cost him a little bit of time. As we now go onto the final lap. Well, as P1R Brand now goes onto the final lap, and Stewie, Ginger Ninja Max going onto the final lap. Stewie going onto the back straight, using DRS and ERS down the inside and utilising utilising the super softs, and makes that move stick. Very, very good move from Stewie there. Very, very good, strong and resilient move from Stewie there, and puts him up to 6th. Meanwhile, P1R Brown, from having a commendable performance throughout qualifying and in the race, utilising the one stop, utilising the undercut, as Brown comes up to the last two corners and onto the last corner to win the Bahrain Grand Prix and his first win in GRL Season 3. Congratulations to P1R Brown for winning the Bahrain Grand Prix, with Aaron Dazzler getting 2nd and Squiddy getting 3rd. RB14 Seagull having a very good performance and gets 4th, whereas Jug Key gets 5th. Stewie gets 5th and Jug Key drops to 6th. So well done to P1R Brown, Aaron Dazzler and Squiddy. P1 Brand, the winner of the Bahrain Grand Prix. And it looks like there was some and it looks like Cam's tyres have lost it again. But he has secured 10th. Sonogo and Taylor will be 11th and 12th, so they both get a point. Lecky crosses the line in 9th. And Superb Cam to complete the top 10 on the actual points for 10th. What an astonishing race. A lot of action. And well done to P1R Brown for winning the Bahrain Grand Prix. And as we see P1R Brown lifting up the trophy and spraying the champagne. So there we have it. The Bahrain Grand Prix. P1R Brown gets the win and his first win, and utilising that one stop. A very good performance for Renault. He will be extremely happy with that. Aaron Dassler gets second from a very good performance in qualifying and jumping up a place. Same goes for Squiddy, getting a good qualifying position. Stewie must be a little bit disappointed of himself not to get the 25 points, but he got 10. But well done to the top 3. We will now invite the top 3 for the interview. As we'll get some of the drivers in for the interview. A very, very good, strong performance from from everyone. A very, very good performance from them. So whilst we are waiting for P1R Brown and Aaron Dassler to come in for an interview, we do have Squiddy with us.
Hello.
We will get to you very shortly. We have Stewie with us.
Okay.
We are currently waiting for Aaron Dassler and P1R Brown. And here is Aaron Dassler.
Wait for the winner.
We are now waiting for the winner of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Okay. Make sure that everyone has clicked the little box. Well, apart from Stewie.
Yeah. Already.
Because the stream can't hear Stewie, sadly. So we'll go from third to first, as we'll wait for P1R Brown to join for the interview. So we'll go on to Squiddy. A very, very good, commendable qualifying session, and it appears that you found the pace back. Was it the new spec engine, or was it a new type of setup?
Yeah, it was a new type of setup. I could not do 8 ballast. It was impossible for me to say tyre temperature, tyre wear, so I had to go to 7 ballast on this race. And it actually worked really good.
It seemed to have worked pretty well, because there was at one point you was battling between P1R Brown and Dassler at one point, at the very end of the race, and it seems like your car just seemed to just stuck to the tarmac pretty well.
did. It was a really good quality session actually. P4. I was expecting that because top three guys were up there as usual. And then start, it was very very good. Got Dazza on the start.
Oh, my start was quality.
Yeah. And then I saw Stewie go wide. I think he must have made a mistake at turn 1 or 2. And then I got second. And I had a few battles with Brown. I got first. And then I had to pick like 7, get on the softs, and then try to take him to a long distance, and then try to get ahead of the 2 fast guys. And then I had to pick again. And that was the same lap on Dazzler's strategy as well.
This was one of the questions I was going to mention. Were you thinking of doing a 2-stop, or were you trying to go for a 1-stop? So you was going for a 2-stop?
Yeah, 2-stop all the way. It was. Yeah. And then I had a few battles with Dazzler again, and he just got past me, and I was happy with a third.
I think there was at one point you was going side by side on turns 5 and 6.
Yeah.
Which was very, very interesting to watch.
It was very entertaining, and I'll take P3. I'm very happy with that result.
You actually managed to get your redemption after that poor spell at Australia.
Yep.
One final question. What are your thoughts on China? Do you think Red Bull could be seeing some upgrades in the future?
China, I'm pretty strong at, but let's see what happens, and hopefully Cam can get up there too.
Yeah, Cam seems to have been properly struggling, so it looks like there might have been setup problems or could be tyre wear issues, but we never know.
Yeah.
But congratulations on getting 3rd place in the Bahrain Grand Prix. Let's hope that China will be the same for you as well.
Yep.
So we now go on to 2nd place, which is Aaron Dazzler. A very good, strong performance from you there, Aaron Dazzler. I bet you was ecstatic on the race that you had. You were having battles left and right.
Yeah, kind of. In my start, I didn't move, so I was down to like P10. So then I had to make it through. And obviously I was on the softs, which was helpful. Not helpful at the start, but then good towards the end.
Yeah.
But for some reason, obviously you saw I was behind Packaloo when we pitted. Put me on. I was meant to be doing the 1-stop with him. Came out on supers. I must have not chosen the strategies. So I ended up on a 2-stop, which was completely wrong.
Might have been a miscommunication in the pit lane then.
The worst thing was it put me on the supers, which are terrible tyres around here. So it lasted like 5 laps on it.
Yeah.
If I did the 1-stop, probably would have had a much better race. Probably if I'd had
it was very unfortunate. Because of your pitting on the same lap as Brown, you thought, right, that you're going for a 1-stop.
Yeah.
And then you was on the supers. I thought, hang on.
That was my reaction as well.
Hey? I was a little bit confused, but you managed to utilise the super softs and then went onto the softs and utilised them as well, and managed to close up to Squinny, who was currently in 2nd.
And the thing with that was as well, because I'd stayed out in the first stint so much longer, I obviously lost so much time to Squiddy, so I was way back. And then, that didn't help.
So do you think next time in China, you'll be going for a strategy and hopefully it'll be that strategy? Or...
I'm going to have to slap up Jeff a few times until he gets it right.
Yeah. I think I do have one more question. What are your thoughts of China, and do you think there could be some possible upgrades for Force India?
I might have to upgrade the strategy team, for sure. But yeah, I don't know what my pace is like China. Time trial's pretty good
Yeah.
around there because obviously you had to do the track for AOR, so I've done my time around there. It's top 20 or something, so it's good one lap. Don't know what race pace is like.
Yeah, but anyway, congratulations for P2.
Yeah, it's alright.
We will be going to P1R Brown, but
I think he's dead.
we will give him a mention saying well done to P1R Brown. He had a very good, strong performance, kept it nice and comfortable for qualifying, and kept it through the race. So we now go on to driver of the day, which was kind of close. I think at first I was going for Max, even because he started from dead last and then gone up to 6th or 4th.
I think it was 6th. I remember.
It was where he got up like quite a lot of places from starting dead last.
7th. Or 8th, somewhere.
Or could go for Jug Key, even though he had some penalties and had some bad luck.
Not sure
He
about
managed to stick to the strategy he kind of gone for, but I think I'd say the final decision. I think it will be to Brown, because he had a very good, comfortable performance, held the one stop and got the undercut perfectly. So, yeah, there we go. So, congratulations to P1R Brown, even though he's quite unfortunate not to be here with us for the interview. But he does get driver of the day for a very good, commendable performance through qualifying and in the race, and also holding the one stop and securing a very good, strong undercut. So there we have it for GP1.1, and congratulations to the top 3, B1R Breton, Aaron Dazzler and Damien Squiddy in that order. Stay tuned for tomorrow night for GP1 round Bahrain. Anything can happen. Could Bacon Yum make a comeback from the problem that he had in Australia? Or can Urban Unicorn replicate the start of the win streak? We will find out tomorrow. This has been Itsville 17, and this has been GP 1.1 round Bahrain, and we'll see you next week for China for this division. Bye bye.